Can't hear anything. Hold on. No, everything just sounds. Okay. Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Do I sound good? Mic check. Mic check. All right.
Hey, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Yep. Good afternoon and welcome to your 4 to 5. I'm Maddie Gardner here with Taheshah Moise and Eric Chilton this afternoon.
This is an interactive newscast where we like to have conversations with you throughout the show. So join the live stream on the WFMY News 2 Facebook page or on YouTube and use that hashtag 4 to 5. News of North Carolina remaining in Phase 2 sent shockwaves throughout the state. Guilford County Representative John Hardester says the leadership at the North Carolina General Assembly was left in the dark until the governor's announcement. He says he was disappointed in the decision.
Look, I know that COVID-19 is a serious problem, and nobody refutes the fact that COVID-19 is dangerous. But there are people who've already lost their business, and more are going to lose their business. The fact is, COVID-19 is not going away anytime soon.
Bars, restaurants, gyms, and bowling alleys were all hoping to open as a part of Phase 3. Hardester says he understands the governor's initial decision to shut the state down, but he says there are a lot of inconsistencies in the governor's order as it stands.
A brewery can open, a distillery can open, but a bar cannot. You can go to a restaurant, sit down, have a drink, but you can't go to the bar. A lot of businesses are allowed to open and have remained open, retail, home improvement stores, but you can't go into a gym even with limited capacity.
Hardester says there are thousands of businesses across the state that may not be able to hold on very longer. He says there has to be a better balance of safety from the virus and the health of our economy.
I think that the vast majority of our citizens are willing to do what's right, but we've got to get these businesses reopened, because if the economy were to falter, you're going to have a different set of problems. It's going to be really bad.
Now, on Wednesday, Governor Cooper also announced a statewide covering mandate that takes effect tomorrow at 5 p.m. Hardester says he believes people should wear masks, but it should be a matter of personal responsibility, adding he's not sure how enforceable the order is. North Carolina could enter Phase 3 by July 17th.
All right, let's chat about a forecast that involves a chance of a shower. Although we haven't seen a whole lot of that, we still have a chance of an evening shower or thunderstorm. It's that time of the year, isn't it? Overnight lows tonight, though, will actually be fairly comfortable as we drop down to about 53. Tomorrow, less humid. We might see a little bit of haze. We've been talking about that Saharan dust plume making its way, all that dust coming in from the Sahara Desert going across the Caribbean into our backyards over the next couple of days. But take a look at the radar. I want to show you the only really heavier shower we see is just to the south of Martinsville there, unless you head down toward the Charlotte area. Now, overall, when you look at the big picture here, we believe that it is widely scattered. Again, it's just from heating of the day, kind of that typical late day situation. Here's what it looks like over the next day or so as we head into your Saturday. A lot of that dust comes in from the south, southwest. That'll kind of overspread the area as we head into our weekend and then clear out toward the first part of next week. In just a little bit, we're going to talk more about the long range forecast, but here's the 7-day at least, and we're pretty consistent, right? We're in the mid 80s for tomorrow, upper 80s on Saturday. By the way, that could be our first 90-degree day of the season. Rain chances will be dry tomorrow, we think, with a little bit of break in the action, but then back to a 20 to 30% chance. Now that's for Saturday and Sunday, but that dust and haze will be in effect there for the weekend as well. Monday start to clear out. Now that Monday through Thursday forecast you see is more typical for us this time of the year. Look at upper 80s for Monday, Tuesday. We'll see some mid 80s Wednesday, Thursday. Notice the rain chances. I don't want you to think that 40%, it sounds like an increase, and it is from where we've been over the last day or so and into the weekend. But that's actually typical for us for summer, a 30 to 40% chance every afternoon and late day. Pop-up shower or thunderstorm. That's typically normal for us. Overnight lows will be in the upper 60s, fairly warm, close to 70 degrees heading into that Monday and Tuesday. But those temperatures are within 2 or 3 degrees of normal. You see in the top right corner there, our normal low is 68 and our normal high is around 87 degrees.
It's time for your 4 to 5 roundup. Eastern Guilford High School is holding a candlelight service tonight for 4 teenagers killed in a crash. 5 boys were in the car when the driver lost control of the wheel and hit a tree. The only survivor is still in the hospital right now. That vigil is tonight at the high school football stadium from 8:30 to 9. Everyone attending is asked to wear a mask and maintain social distance. An American couple is filing a lawsuit against Royal Caribbean Cruise Line for a deadly volcanic eruption in New Zealand. 21 people were killed in the White Island volcano eruption back in December. Now, the couple was on their honeymoon cruise through Royal Caribbean when that volcano erupted. They were heading back to the boat when the volcano erupted, covering the island with ash and smoke. Both received severe burns and were put into medically induced comas and needed skin grafts and plastic surgery. The couple says the cruise lines are responsible for making sure that excursions are safe. New Zealand's GeoNat agency raised the island's volcanic alert level to level 2, just one level away from the eruption warning. In the meantime, Royal Caribbean has declined to comment. The Eiffel Tower is welcoming visitors once again. The Paris icon shut down due to the coronavirus pandemic, and it was the longest shutdown since World War II. Visitors can go up to the tower, but by only taking the stairs, and you'll only be able to go up to the second floor. Elevators are closed until as early as July as a safety precaution. Anyone age 11 and older must wear a mask. And back here in the Triad, the Caladium is giving a sneak peek of the outside of its new building in downtown Winston-Salem. This new building is located at the corner of 3rd Street and Town Run Lane. That's where the former sheriff's office was. Over $30 million in funding went towards this new building. Construction is expected to be complete in 2023.
Well, it is soon to be the end of an era at the ACC. Commissioner John Swofford announced his plans for retirement after spending nearly half a century in the conference, also as a player back at North Carolina. Luke Glidden joins us now. Luke, he says this has been his plan for a while.
Yeah, Maddie, John Swofford said he and his wife had this date circled for quite some time in regards to his retirement, which will be at the end of the next academic year. Now, whoever will replace Swofford in the near future will certainly have some massive shoes to fill, as Swofford is the longest tenured commissioner in the ACC and has been part of the conference for more than 5 decades as both a student athlete and administrator. Not only that, but as commissioner, Swofford led the league's expansion from 9 to 15 schools while also winning 91 national titles in the conference over a 22-year span.
We're going to stay in Greensboro. We're building our retirement home, about 3.5 football fields from Sedgefield Country Club, where the ACC was founded in 1953. So somehow that feels appropriate. We're looking forward to spending time with each other and our grandkids, but it's time for that chapter, and we're excited about it.
Well deserved. We'll hear much more from the commissioner coming up at 5 and 6 o'clock, plus what Duke head coach Mike Krzyzewski had to say about the recent news.
And we are hearing more about John Swofford's impact here in the city of Greensboro and the ACC, and there is only one in mind to fill his role. WFMY News 2's Amanda Ferguson has been digging all day to find us some answers.
I just got off a call with the president and CEO of the Greensboro Chamber of Commerce, Brent Christensen. He tells me he's only known Commissioner Swofford for about 5 years, but in those 5 years, he's seen the incredible impact he's left right here in the city of Greensboro. Now, right now, you're taking a look at the ACC headquarters right here in Greensboro. I asked Christensen if this would stay here long after Swofford retires. He says he thinks it's not going anywhere, but he does say, and just like Luke said, whoever takes his role will have big shoes to fill once he leaves.
Given the prominence of this conference, of the Atlantic Coast Conference, and given the prominence of the position and what John has built, what an incredible job he's done, that they're going to go on one of those proverbial nationwide searches, right? We want to go find the very best person who can run the Atlantic Coast Conference, who can build on the incredible success that Commissioner Swofford has built there.
He brings up a good point. He was telling me that Swofford is giving us 1 year's notice, so there's a lot of time to find that right person to fill his role.
Amanda, thank you. Stay with us. When your 4 to 5 returns, we're talking about researchers closing in on a coronavirus vaccine, where those trials are happening. Coming up. Thank you.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. Scientists around the world are working to find a coronavirus vaccine. Researchers are working on studies that would normally take years to complete. Ian Lee from CBS News shows us the progress of one vaccine trial in London.
This could be the vaccine to help defeat the coronavirus, but there's no guarantee.
I wouldn't be working on this trial if I didn't feel cautiously optimistic that we will see great immune responses in our participants, but there's still a long way to go to evaluate this vaccine.
The vaccine trial at Imperial College London is beginning to test on people, a milestone only a dozen other laboratories have reached. Kathy is one of the college's 300 volunteers.
I think it came from not really knowing what I could do to help, and this turned out to be something that I could do, and understanding that it's not likely that things will get back to normal until there is a vaccine, so wanting to be part of that progress as well.
If this trial goes well, 6,000 more volunteers will be immunized in the fall. Researchers may also need to test overseas in virus hotspots to increase exposure. Currently, there are more than 120 coronavirus vaccines in development worldwide. Researchers say that several vaccines will need to work for widespread immunization. One extra advantage this vaccine offers is size. Since the vaccine is created artificially without the need to grow the virus, researchers say it can easily be manufactured on a large scale.
It means that we can make the equivalent of 2 million doses in the volume of a litre. So you imagine a litre bottle of lemonade, that would have 2 million doses in it.
If ultimately proven safe and effective, Imperial College hopes to have enough doses for 40 million people by next summer. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
Vaccine trials at Oxford University are moving into human trials, and participants are in South Africa and Brazil testing the vaccine. Now, the U.S. has invested in the Oxford vaccine, requesting millions of doses if that vaccine is proven safe and effective. 30,000 U.S. citizens are expected to participate in human trials of the vaccine. If the vaccine passes the test, the team is prepared to distribute them out. We'll be right back.
You know, while researchers around the world work on a coronavirus vaccine, doctors are expressing new concerns over vaccinations as a whole. Our sister station in Knoxville, Tennessee, explains why doctors are seeing the overall vaccination rate for kids drop.
Call it collateral damage from the coronavirus pandemic.
We don't need another outbreak on top of this one.
During the COVID lockdown in April, doctors vaccinated 43% fewer children under 19. For infants, the state health department reports immunizations fell 29%.
These kids who stop coming for their vaccinations become more susceptible to those illnesses we know are still out there.
Dr. R. Michael Green says about half of his pediatric appointments canceled in April. Now, the health department wants parents to play catch up.
We need to protect our children and protect our families by getting the children vaccinated.
They are worried kids without vaccines could catch and spread other diseases.
Can you imagine having this COVID pandemic going on and having an outbreak of something like measles?
The state says rates for Gardasil, the HPV vaccine, are down 65% over last year.
And it prevents cancer. It's huge.
Plus, she says school immunization requirements have not changed, which means pediatricians like Dr. Green may face a busier back-to-school rush.
Come in, catch up on your vaccinations, keep your kids safe from the illnesses we already have a vaccine for as we wait for a vaccination for what we're dealing with now.
Urging protection from diseases we know how to prevent while scientists race to stop this new one.
You know, I never thought about that the side effect would be that some of the regular vaccinations would drop. And we know, or at least as parents out there, we know it's difficult to even get your kids into the doctor to get those vaccinations in a normal situation. I can't imagine what it'll be like in another month or two.
Yeah, I've thought about that actually, because many regular checkups and visits to the doctor had to be canceled because of COVID, and they were just shifting to online visits only. You obviously can't get a shot, over a computer screen. So hopefully they'll make some time for kids to get back in there, because back to school shots, if they need those, if we go back to school this year, they'll have to make an appointment.
I'm just hearing a lot of ifs in this situation. If kids go back to school, if the doctor's office returns to a time when we can do things like that. So there is a lot that remains to be seen at this time, but if you can make an appointment, you might as well put your name on the list, because we know it's long.
Maybe if will be the word of 2020.
If.
We're still waiting.
Yes.
All right, we're still chatting with you as well on WFMY News 2's Facebook page. Use our hashtag 4 to 5. We'll see you there.
A valedictorian in New York is catching a lot of attention for her attendance record. Not only did she have perfect attendance this year, she's had perfect attendance since she started pre-K. Ashanti Palmer didn't realize she'd never missed a day of school until she was in 10th grade. Palmer says it wasn't something she meant to do. She just knew missing school would set her back. She says she wants to study biomedical engineering and medicine, and she's received more than $430,000 worth of scholarship money. I want to say a big congratulations to Ashanti, because that is a big feat. I know myself, there was a couple days I did not want to go to school, you know, and it's just really a big accomplishment for that, and to be valedictorian and to get all those scholarships.
Right, she's really racking up the awards. You know, I'm very competitive. I love to get awards, but I never even thought about perfect attendance because it just wasn't going to happen for me, folks. It's not my thing.
I never had a year without at least one absence, I don't think. That alone is an accomplishment, but that almost $500,000 in scholarships, that's a smart girl right there.
Yeah, she's going places. I can't wait to see where
All right,
she
let's talk
lands.
about her. Yes. Absolutely, absolutely. All right, let's talk about a forecast. We've got some, it was a little bit unusual that we haven't seen a 90-degree day just yet. Normally we do. In fact, courtesy of Mr. Timothy Buckley, we have some graphics for you. I wanted to show you this. This was neat. He did a little digging. And the latest years that we've seen without a 90 degrees, in 1972, it took us till July 18th to see a 90-degree day. That is a long time. 2017, not that long ago, that's number 2. That's July the 5th. And then if you skip down that list to number 5 in 2003, it took us until June 26th. That is a possibility that we could jump into that number 5 spot, but I think by Saturday we might go into the number 4 spot, because that is a time that we expect to see a 90-degree day, but just barely. The forecast high is 90, so we might not make it. We'll see. 83 in Greensboro right now. Same story for Winston-Salem. Burlington at 86, High Point 85. Asheboro at 82. All right, partly cloudy tonight. You may see a stray shower or storm. Not a huge chance. They're not widespread, but they are isolated and out there. 53 will be the low tonight as we see some clearing in the overnight hours. Less humid. It will be a little bit hazy as we start to see a little bit of that dust from that Sahara Desert plume, that dust plume that's making its way across the Caribbean and into the southeast. That'll affect us definitely over the weekend. You look across the area, a couple of scattered showers in our southern Virginia counties from Martinsville, Danville area, maybe over toward Galax. But that's about it. Nothing really widespread just yet. You get the idea that we're generally unsettled over the southeast. Here's that low pressure that moves through. We get into a dry slot tomorrow. That frontal boundary holds back that dust for a while. That's Friday night. But heading into Saturday and Sunday, that's when you'll see that haze start to really move in, and hopefully maybe a little bit of rain will help in some of that. But it will be a little bit hazy for Saturday and for Sunday. Here's your 7-day forecast. 86 tomorrow, lower humidity and dry, lots of sun, right around 90 for Saturday, Sunday, and really into Monday as well, with a 20 to 30% chance of a late-day pop-up shower or storm for your weekend. And for Monday, Tuesday, back to a normal situation with a 40% chance in the late-day period. We'll be right back with more on the 4 to 5. Stay there.
Good afternoon and welcome to your 4 to 5. I'm Taheshah Moyes alongside Maddie Gardner and Eric Chilton.
Yes, this is an interactive newscast. We like to chat with you on WFMY News 2's Facebook page and our YouTube channel. See what you have to say about the news of the day. So join our conversation and use our hashtag 4 to 5 to stay connected. Let's start off with your 4 to 5 roundup this afternoon. United Airlines is temporarily stopping all flights to Myrtle Beach after it was identified as a hotspot for coronavirus. The U.S. Department of Transportation authorized that decision. Flights will stop on July 6th. United Airlines typically operates seasonal services to the beach. The airline is monitoring the demand to decide when those flights will resume for the spring and summer of next year. People will be allowed to watch the Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs this year, but the Derby will limit the number of people allowed at the track. And they'll also limit access to facilities like the barn area. Guests are encouraged to wear masks while they're at the Derby, unless they're sitting in reserved seats. The Derby was rescheduled for September 1st through the 5th. Another event, this one in Greensboro, the Patti LaBelle concert at the Stephen Tanger Center for the Performing Arts. It will now happen next year. Their decision was based on Governor Cooper's announcement yesterday to continue phase 2 for 3 more weeks. If you had a ticket to the concert, hang on to it for the rescheduled date. It will be May 22nd, 2021. And a reminder for you, Elm Street will be closed from February 1 Place to Washington Street tomorrow starting at 6, and it will reopen Monday morning. 16 artists are working on a Black Lives Matter street mural. Organizer Jason Keith says they chose that section of the road because of its history. It's right in front of the Civil Rights Center and Museum and the former Woolworths, where the Greensboro Four staged sit-ins during the Civil Rights Movement. Keith says the Black Lives Matter movement highlights a community of people who just want to be seen and have the same rights as everyone else. One artist helping with the mural says this is a way for artists to use their voice.
It just shows that times are changing and that it's now a crime just to be solid. So it's like they're giving us the opportunity to voice our opinions. It's like now they want to know what we feel, what is going on within our, within the community.
This is the 2nd Street mural approved by the city of Greensboro.
3 Wilmington police officers were fired for a racist rant caught on camera. Now, according to documents released by the department, a sergeant is reviewing the video audit as part of a monthly inspection. And when that happened, the sergeant claims the officers could be heard on video using racial and discriminatory slurs. Police say that the officers admitted to their voices in the video was theirs and say they chose not to, rather, deny what the sergeant heard. Those officers say their comments stemmed from the stress of being on the force during this time. The district attorney's office is reviewing the case to see if the officers committed any crimes or showed bias.
2 mothers are joining forces to push new legislation they hope will bring change to the nation. Tina Knowles-Lawson, Beyonce's mother, wrote a letter to Congress to pass. Now, in addition to another stimulus check, that bill would fund absentee voting and expand voting access. It would also supply gloves, masks, and voting machines so people can move through the line faster. Knowles actually wrote the letter after primary voters in Kentucky were turned away because they were still waiting in line to vote at 6 p.m. when the polls closed. Tamika Palmer, the mother of Breonna Taylor, is also supporting the bill, saying now is the time for action. Knowles says the one thing she hears most often is that people feel their voice doesn't matter in an election.
If you vote for the mayor, and the mayor hires the police chief and the district attorney and all the people that are in power to make those changes in your community. And so if you don't vote, then you don't have a voice.
Tamika Palmer is also working on Breonna's law. It would ban no-knock warrants.
It's a start for other families. It doesn't help Breonna's situation. But I will be grateful that it doesn't happen to someone else. Somebody still has to answer for what happened to Breonna, though.
Palmer says she wants people to keep saying Breonna's name, march, and demand justice.
We are about a week away from the 4th of July, but you may already be hearing fireworks. Law enforcement officers around the nation say they aren't sure why people are launching fireworks right now, but speculate people just may be bored. In New York, Mayor Bill de Blasio started a task force targeting illegal fireworks. Now, the fireworks industry took a hard hit from coronavirus as groups and communities cancel holiday celebrations. Most fireworks companies are now selling their items at discounted prices. So I wanted to know if you too have been hearing fireworks at home. I posted on my Facebook page today to see if this were true for you. So let's take a look at some of the comments that you have written in today. Cynthia says yes, but sounds like gunshots off of East Wendover area in the Greensboro area she's talking about. Candace says same time every night and it's very annoying. Marilyn writes they are doing illegal fireworks statewide and it's every night in my neighborhood. Michelle says missing the action, I don't hear them. Oh, I wish I could be you, Michelle. LeVar says, oh yeah, actually starting to get annoying. And Karen writes, every night between 9:55 and 10:30 and 11 o'clock. Now, it's one thing to hear just the fireworks. It's another thing to be woken up in the middle of the night and then the pets in the area, they really start freaking out.
Right, and that's been the conversation that I've seen on my social media timelines. People saying my pets are all freaking out. I'm trying to calm them down and get them away from the noise, but it's every single night. I have not heard them, Taheshah, which is surprising because I live very close to you. But maybe I'm just a heavy sleeper or my white noise machine helps.
Well, you have been working here at the station a little bit later, so you've been missing the ones that have been happening around us.
You're
in the
Nancy
evening.
Drew.
Yes.
You solved the mystery.
All good.
All right, don't set off fireworks, please. You're keeping us up.
Yeah. And for the animals, at least for the animals, I know a lot of people like the animals. Keep them safe because they can't do anything about it.
And if they run away and then we have a lost dog on our hands, the list goes on. All right.
Well, you may be planning a vacation to the coast this summer, but the question that continues to hang over everybody's head, is it safe to do so? Coronavirus cases now are rising in more than 24 states. So CBS News asked an internal medicine physician. She had some advice for everybody. Number one, this doctor said, don't go to a crowded beach. You may need at least about 10 feet between you and the next person. Also, if you have underlying medical problems, obviously, she says simply don't go. It's not worth it. Bring your own beach gear. I had not thought about this before I saw this today, but don't rent it. You should bring your own. And finally, wear a face mask. Yes, that seems to be the right thing to do. So with this in mind, I asked you on Facebook how your summer vacation may look a little bit different this year than a normal family vacay. Here's what you had to say. Patricia Collins said, stay away from crowds, wear a mask when out getting groceries, no shopping overall. She said, we ride our golf cart a lot. Sherry Edwards Brooks said, I went to the beach and watched it rain all week. That made social distancing very easy. She said, just stay in your hotel room or home. Lance Tompkins says, we will mask when in stores. We have Clorox wipes to re-clean our room. We'll probably eat out less or get more food to go. Going to a smaller beach this year, he says. Lions Angie says, no, we will not. We will be vacationing at home in our pool and cooking out this summer, not taking any chances. She says, my neighbor just came back from Myrtle Beach and has COVID-19. Holly Schuster shut things down this year. She said 2 words for you, vacation canceled. Yeah, and that's the case for a lot of people. If you do go, you have to take extra precautions, that's for sure, because for what we hear, the South Carolina beaches, where a lot of people from here go, are jam-packed, so you got to be careful.
Yeah, the 2 words vacation canceled, a little piece of me inside just kind of died because I was like, oh, I know the pain, and I know there's a lot of people that are making that tough decision to cancel their vacation because depending on where they were going, social distancing may not be able to happen.
And I think the key here with that story, Eric, is choose beaches that are less crowded. We have a couple of beautiful beaches on the North Carolina coast that are far less crowded than some of those popular ones in South Carolina. So I think that might be your best bet this year. And just be cautious, be careful, use your common sense.
Yeah, I think if you can afford to get a beach house, it might be a little bit better than some of those resorts where people are coming and going so much. But be safe if you're going to do that, folks. That's for sure. Let's talk about a forecast and how will it be at the beaches? I can tell you that it'll be very similar to what we're going to see over the next couple of days. Just plus a couple degrees maybe inland, and then minus a couple if you're right on the beaches with the ocean breeze. 83 in Greensboro and in Winston-Salem. Burlington, you're at 86. We see Graham also in the mid-80s. Tonight and tomorrow, 53. That's not a bad overnight low. In fact, that's pretty cool for this time of the year. If you see a stray shower this evening, don't be surprised. Look at the radar now, and you can see Martinsville seeing a little bit of that, also down towards Charlotte. We're kind of in a sweet spot for right now. Doesn't mean it'll stay that way, but the longer we go into the evening, the less those rain chances hang out. You can see overall the southeast is fairly unstable, but not really volatile. We're not seeing any major thunderstorm activity. A drier slot moves in for tomorrow. I doubt we'll see much in the way of rain. We may see highs in the mid-80s, but that dust will start to move in as we head into your weekend, especially for Saturday and Sunday. We've been talking about that Sahara dust plume that's moving up from the Caribbean. So for your weekend, 90 and 88, Saturday, Sunday, rain chances are down a bit, 20 to 30%. Then it jumps up to 40%, but again, that's only for afternoon and evening. That's Monday through Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, upper 80s. Wednesday, Thursday, we're in the mid-80s.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. You may have heard that HBO Max removed Gone with the Wind in wake of the recent racial issues. Well, yesterday they announced they're putting it back in the lineup with what they're calling a historical context intro. The intro will be hosted by Jacqueline Stewart, a professor of cinema and media studies at the University of Chicago. HBO says it's a 4.5-minute discussion that details the film's place in history and its controversial history. The film stars Clark Gable, Vivian Leigh, and Hattie McDaniel, who won an Academy Award for acting in her role as a domestic servant. She was the first African-American to win an Oscar.
So this may be the best video of the day. You have to stop what you're doing and take a look at this 4-year-old girl dish the dirt while she does her makeup. Take a look.
Everybody was just playing. I was at the wall because I pulled Aurora's hair. I know y'all thinking, why would you do that, girl? She had the audacity to growl at me. Can you believe it? Absolutely not, Miss Lady. And my teacher had the nerve to put me in timeout. First of all, we both shouldn't have to stand on the wall. What y'all talking about? Yeah, that's what I said. Y'all think I was wrong for hearing her? My mom taught me to mind my business.
Mind your business, girl. The clip obviously went viral. Thousands of people have liked and shared it. She has her own Instagram account, which has 704,000 followers. So if you want to follow more of her sassy tales, you know, just follow her on Instagram. But I would say she's like my spirit animal. If I had a child,
I think I have a new catchphrase. Absolutely not, Miss Lady. I'm going to have to use that. Absolutely not, Mr. Chilton.
That should be, that needs to be a hashtag. That needs to be a hashtag. Yeah, no, not the Mr. Chilton, the other one. By the way, I watched the entire thing. It is the best video of the year. It's on my Facebook page if you want to check it out. I've shared it. That is the funniest little girl. Oh my goodness, so funny. All right, parents, you know how hard it is to keep everybody happy during vacations. It can be difficult, especially in this pandemic situation where if you do go on vacation, sometimes you're holed up, right, for a while. You might not want to eat out at a restaurant. Some people are not doing that during vacations this year. Well, this mom had an answer on TikTok. This is it's a great thing. I showed my wife this. She goes, we're doing this. Stephanie Herter put this on TikTok and Facebook, by the way. It's called Nacho Table Party. Basically, it's not your normal meal, is it? On vacation every summer, they cover the tabletop with aluminum foil. They pour the chips on it with all the toppings. I mean, you name it, they do it. We're talking beef, melted cheese, onions, peppers, diced tomatoes, everything. And they've got the bowls in the middle so everybody can kind of grab which ingredients they like and decorate their area where they're going to eat. And then, of course, everybody digs in. The Facebook post, by the way, has nearly 7.5 million views so far. The Nacho Table Party. Sometimes some people might think that's a little bit gross because everybody's eating at the trough, so to speak. But if you stay in your own little space, you're all right.
Controversial opinion. I think that's real weird. I don't like it.
I would say pre-COVID, I would try it out. Now I don't want to be near anyone else when I'm trying to eat my food, and I don't want you near mine. The thing I liked about the video, though, was the little girl. She goes outside and kind of rings a bell, and you couldn't hear it there, but she's like, it's nacho time, it's nacho time, and everyone comes running inside and just enjoying and grabbing their own little section of the table.
I like nachos, and I like the idea of families eating together and sharing dinner, but I don't even like when someone reaches over and grabs something off my plate. If it's like a close friend or a family member, I want my own plate and y'all don't touch it. That's my food and those are my nachos. In the words of Chilton, nachos. They're my nachos, nachos.
Nachos.
Go. He's done. We'll toss to break then. Chilton's speechless. Win for me today. We'll be right
Maddie.
back.
All right, wine lovers, here is one for you today. Did you know there are wine fairies roaming the streets in North and South Carolina? We're talking about wings, tutus, magic wands, the whole 9 yards. It is true. They are part of a Facebook group called the Sisterhood of the Traveling Wine. I spoke with head fairy Kara Rendell about this fast-growing project.
Kara, thanks for being with us this morning. Okay, so someone at work told me about this, the Sisterhood of the Traveling Wine. I have never heard of this in my life. Tell me how it works.
So we're actually a Facebook group, originally started in Western New York. I saw friends and family involved, so I started it here in the Carolinas. Really, you come join our Facebook group, and once you are approved into the group, we direct you to our website to go ahead and register, get your address on the list, your drink preference. You have access to all of the other addresses in your area, and you select a random person on the list to go out and spread some cheer to, and make the day and just make them smile.
So I imagine when you look at the pictures and the videos on the Facebook page, they are hilarious. Tell me about some of your favorites.
Oh gosh, honestly, the fairies on the loose are my favorite. We get videos of anywhere from little children up to grown adult men in tutus and swings and flying around delivering the cheer. Those are my favorite, the videos that we see of people that have fun with it and really get into the costume of it.
So this sounds like an idea that probably has legs, not just here, but everywhere. And you told me that you guys are expanding.
We are. So right now we're in North Carolina, South Carolina, and we have other states slowly starting to join. We have people all the way over in Hawaii and Montana, California. So it's slowly growing, and we're not going to stop it until the Carolinas.
Kara, thanks for taking time out. It sounds awesome. We can't wait to see more of this.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Eric.
If you need more information, just look for this story. It'll be up on our website pretty soon here, WFNYnews2.com. Yes, in case you're wondering, guys do this as well. She said they have started a brotherhood for beer and booze. And I said, well, what do they dress up as if they go and deliver these surprises? And they said, still the fairy thing. They're doing wings, wands, and tutus. So check it out if you can.
I'm laughing because the graphic at the bottom of the screen says, watch for wine fairies. And you know, we are in 2020, so it makes it seem like there's another pandemic of like a swarm of wine fairies coming to take over North Carolina. But it is a good thing. But just that bottom graphic is making me laugh a lot, Chilton.
So can you put in a request for the wine?
It was like
Oh, go ahead.
No. It's total surprise. It's total surprise. It's like you gift somebody and surprise them. In fact, the whole idea is that you sneak up there and you don't get caught and you leave. And a lot of people video it, so the videos are on Facebook too. And then once you've been wined or whatever they call it, then you have to do it to somebody.
Just pay it forward.
And get wined.
Yeah, but watch out for the wine fairies because they're coming for you.
That's right. I came up with a verb all by myself. All right, let's talk about the forecast and see what's going on with all this dust. I want to show you the Saharan dust. This is a future cast that we put together instead of rain, which we normally show you. Now we're showing you where that dust plume would be. And this is going into the night tonight and into tomorrow. That's tomorrow night at 11:45 p.m. You see it staying to the south of us on Friday, but then it lifts a little north, and during our weekend is really when we'll see the effects, most of the effects of this. Now, will it be a dust storm for us? No, it's just haze out there, but it could be very, very hazy, although I think most of it may stay a little south of us, but we're still going to see a degree of this. Tomorrow, sunshine and 86. When you're heading into your weekend, it does look a little bit hot. I mean, we'll get to 90 possibly on Saturday, 88 Sunday. Again, that dust and haze out there. They do say if you have respiratory issues, wearing a mask, like a different kind of mask, like the respiratory mask, may be advised if you have to get outside. But by Monday and Tuesday, we get back to a more normal pattern and it starts to clear out. So you may only have to deal with that for just a short time. Slight rain chance Saturday, Sunday. We'll bring that up to a normal position. That's a 40% chance. Late day pop-up shower or storm. That's Monday all the way through Thursday. That's normal for us this time of the year. Upper 80s Monday, Tuesday, and mid 80s for Wednesday and Thursday.
Yes, permit holders should continue to identify themselves.
Hey there, all you cool cats and kittens. How's everybody?
Hi there, Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware.
Police departments in Greensboro and High Point say they will focus on education and
He didn't finally just growled at him.
No, he didn't.
So,
Mic check. Sorry, we had an incident. My Huck the dog tried to bite my cat for whatever reason.
Very hot. 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Jess is fixing something at ENPS. It's very hot out here.
It's time for my 2 cents. And before I begin, this 2 cents is inspired by a few sentences written by Superior Court Judge Tom Lambeth in a ruling yesterday about Ace Speedway in Alamance County. I'm not here to talk about that case, but I think what he had to say applies beyond that situation. He wrote about personal freedom and choices. There's been a lot of talk about that lately.